Thanks for listening to Artists Soar,
a podcast for artists by artists. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at hello@artistssoar.com.
And be sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts so that you can get more of us and we can bring in some sponsors to help you and help us.
Okay, so we are re-recording 96. And so this is episode 96, protecting your pics, artwork, and website. So, hey, hello, everybody. How is everybody doing?
She's so perfect.
I know. She just went for a perfect smile. I'm like so exhausted, and I'm like rubbing my eyes, and
We've
all been up
late.
Yeah.
We've all been up late last night. I was up late. You were up late. You were up late. But hey, we're gonna give it the good try.
I slept a little later too. Normally I'm
that's
up
good.
at 5, so.
I was up at the crack of freaking dawn. I got like 3 hours of sleep.
Oh no.
So, well, what is everybody? Okay, first off, we've been gone for a little while.
Yeah.
But we have good news.
Yeah. So one of the things that we really don't, none of us, all three of us, do not really enjoy is the editing of the podcast. Because like we like to talk, but we don't like to hear ourselves talk, I think.
Exactly.
And so we're hired an assistant, Iris, who's actually going to be here in one of the future recordings too. So she's going to take a stab at editing and doing the show notes for us so that we can just do the things that we love. That's one of the things we just love talking with you guys and talking with each other.
Yeah, it's all about finding balance, and we should probably put that as another podcast thing because
this
week has been one of those weeks. But we'll table that for a different episode. But yeah.
Well, what has everybody been working on? Anything specific?
So I've been working on a zodiac series, not constellations. Oh my gosh, the zodiac and all the stars and stuff.
Astronomy?
No.
Astrology.
No, it's really popular right now and trendy, and I can't think of what it's called. It starts with a C. Anyways.
Constellations.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got it right.
Maybe. I don't know. Right? Anyways, I haven't looked at it in the last 2 days because I've been busy. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on.
I'm excited to see that.
I know.
I've got the Pisces is painted, and I
need the Scorpio.
I think that's the one I pulled up next, actually, and resized.
I put that one with this one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Leo.
Yeah.
Shocker.
I've got them all sketched out. Every single one is sketched. I just need to paint.
That's fun.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. I'm working on two paintings. They're both turtles. One's a sea turtle, one's a land turtle. And they're going to be really pretty cute, I think.
Oh, they're really.
I want that big sea turtle, but
I think you've bought every one of my sea turtles.
I have
never.
I know.
I
have 2 sea turtles of yours. I'm like, no, you can't paint that big one. I can't do it right now. I can't buy it right now. Can I have like the 10-year payment plan, please? But no, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. I showed it to my husband and I was like, what do you think? And he said, it needs more detail. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It does not need more detail.
You're loose. You need to practice being loose.
Well, but there's a lot of detail in it.
Oh, I know.
The fish eating off the turtle. And I've been debating whether to add like or is it jellyfish? Because I painted separately it as an example of how to use a palette knife with jellyfish. So I was like, I could put that thing in there, and then thought about doing a little school of fish. And Ben's like, no, it's busy enough. But that's one of the things that I think people like about my art is that there's all sorts of things to look at.
Yes.
So
I agree.
I'm kind of leaning towards it. It's my freaking painting. I was like, what do you think? Needs more detail.
Well, I think that goes to another podcast episode that we need to talk about the one you and I were talking about along those lines with, where do you get your feedback from and who should you really, truly get your feedback from?
So true.
Yeah, I don't ask anyone.
You don't ask?
Maybe Stephanie. I just got done with my little doodle guy over there.
Oh,
I need to put some whiskers on him and finish him up.
That's very cute.
And That's all I've been doing. It's been lightweight. We've been doing a lot of traveling and like different
Yeah.
things. So
Well, we had the solar eclipse on Monday, and so I know
Wow.
Stephanie and I both traveled for that.
yeah.
That's one of the other reasons I'm tired, because of Memphis traffic.
Oh my gosh.
What was supposed to be 4 or 5 hours was 8.5, 9.
Oh my God.
Traffic.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to protect our images, our pictures, our photos, our websites. Because Julie, you had you explain what brought this topic on.
So, not too long ago, I had seen acquaintance of mine. Her work was stolen by Temu and sold on Temu. And so,
Is it Temu or Temu? Remember in
I think it's
Temu.
Temu.
It's
but
Temu.
it's the Super Bowl they pronounced it Temu. Did you notice that?
Uh-uh.
No.
I
But
know.
anyway, it's Temu. It's
Correct.
a Chinese company.
Yep, and they sell a lot of artwork on there, and so when she mentioned it on her, I don't remember, Instagram, Facebook, something, I went and started looking at Temu and their artwork that they sell, and I'm like, I recognize that. And I went and pulled up 2 different artists because I was wrong on the first one that I thought it was, and sure enough, it was hers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting ready to message her that I think your art has been put on Temu. I'm not sure if you license that or not. And sure enough, within 30 minutes of me getting a call and going back, she had posted on her stories her art had been stolen from Temu as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know at least 3 people that has happened to. But when you go and you look at their artwork and you're scrolling through, I'm like, God, that looks really familiar. And sure enough, I go to that artist I think it is, and it looks identical to their work. And so
I'm sure this Temu is not the only one.
Oh no, there's so
does
many
that.
out there doing it. I mean, Sheen or Shine or whatever it's called,
Uh-huh.
they steal a lot of
Really?
pattern work from designers, yes, and have it printed on their products, their clothing and stuff as well. So that got us talking about right clicking and
how do you
watermarking and all this discussion about that. And I've always been, since I was originally doing photography years ago, was always told, don't put a watermark across the whole image, because then people don't get the feel for, and this is when I was photographing people, they don't get the real feel and the emotional connection to the artwork that you're trying to sell to them, or the photography work. And so I always opted for a smaller watermark and right click disabled on my website, because I use WordPress. Then that got us talking about Shopify, because I recently opened Shopify and I realized I didn't have right click disabled on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, people can screenshot, but screenshots are not, granted, I say that, and I was screenshotting some stuff that was PDF form yesterday for a marketing brochure. And yes, I was a creator of the PDF. And I was just trying to sample using it, see what it would look like versus converting into JPEG and bringing it into the InDesign and stuff. And holy crap, the quality was there.
Really?
Like, there was no reason for me to go and convert it to a JPEG. I was
Really?
shocked. And this is, 8.5 by 11 brochure, and I zoomed it up to 200%, and you couldn't tell that it was a screenshot. I was shocked. And I don't know if it was because I was screenshotting a PDF that was already a high quality or why,
Yeah.
but it used to be when you did a screenshot, it was really crappy and fuzzy, but this one wasn't. But so that's what I do, is just small watermark, my signature on everything, and right click enable or disabled.
Yeah, I know when we were talking about this, I found a plugin, I guess, with Shopify.
Yep.
And it's called Cozy Anti-Theft, and it's free, and it really works. Like,
Yeah.
I tried to just copy some text just for my website,
Right.
and so that I could make it easier to create an event. It wouldn't let me copy.
Yeah, I can't copy text from my webpage, and you also can't do the inspect on my webpage.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, that's really good.
yeah, so people can't find, because when you inspect some web pages, you can find where the URL for the image is, and then you can pull it up in a full URL
Mhm.
full size, but you can't do that on mine because you can't do inspect.
Which that could be handy too, because there's sometimes, like, I know when I use Kajabi,
Mhm.
if there was a link to a PDF, it would show in the Amazon type server. And
Yes.
so that allowed anybody to pass along that link
Yeah.
to send that. So now with that being enabled, where they can't do a right click, they can't do the inspect, they can't view the URL, it's also protecting your PDFs,
Right.
your ebooks.
Exactly.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. Because I mean, and it depends on what, like on WordPress, it depends on what you're using as your back end for your shop. But, those are typically, if you're using WooCommerce, those links are blocked out on your code. But, there's some inexpensive alternates out there where they don't necessarily block out the code, and you can go find the PDF and download it for free if you're not careful.
So the way that they would find the link then, like the folks out there, they can test this just by going to their website, click on an image, and look at the URL up top
Yep.
to see if there's an image link.
Yeah.
And then that'll
that's a
teach
good
them
idea.
to.
Yeah.
Right.
There's I know we didn't talk about this before, but the reverse image lookup.
Yes, that's what
see
I
if
had
it's
started
installed.
doing to find. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I actually did to go confirm who these artists were. Was I took the images from Temu, did a reverse image lookup in Google Chrome,
Mhm.
and sure enough, they came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So, oh my gosh. So if you have a Shopify account, they have the disabled right click ability, but you also
Through
have
an app.
through an app. And then you've got, what's the other app?
So
Tell us.
the to disable in Shopify, you get that app called Cozy
Cozy.
Anti-Theft.
Cozy Anti-Theft.
And it's really nice and simple. It's just got these little toggles that you move to disable stuff. And
that's a good idea.
That is
yeah,
really
it
good.
was really nice.
Because a lot of people, I'm sure, have Shopify. And I think Etsy, though, is Wild Wild West, I think. I don't think they have anything.
You know that? I don't even know.
No, I don't know either because I'm off Etsy. I closed my shop about a year ago or so.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Well, I still have like mom's
recipe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You got the mom's recipe. That was a freaking brilliant idea.
So
Yes, I know.
I don't have, I mean, they're not very expensive, but I still do have sales all the time.
Yeah.
Do you
but-
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But, you can have the images on the side, but I always have something, I put like a watermark across.
Mm-hmm.
And you can block out some of the recipes so they can't just screenshot
Snag
the
'em.
recipe or
Yeah.
whatever. But, it's a 99-cent recipe. I mean, if they can figure it out.
More power to
More
them.
power to you.
They wasted more money figuring it out than just buying the recipe. Really,
All you gotta do is
Right.
block out the word baking soda or baking powder, and you totally screwed them over.
or reverse,
Exactly.
salt and sugar in
Yeah.
the recipe or something.
Yeah.
in the picture, but actually send them the real recipe.
But I don't think, because they have all those pictures on the side and they're all right click. They scan through. So for something like that, I don't know. Like you were saying, keep it a low DPI.
Oh yeah. So we've been doing like 72 DPI, and I know to convert that you can do it in a Mac. You just double click the image and then go to edit, and you're in the preview mode or in the preview
Mhm.
application. You double click it, click edit, and then adjust size, and I just changed it to like 600 by 600 usually, and then the 72 DPI and save as.
Same thing on HP. You just click the preview, and up at the top there's edit, and you can change the DPI too.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, and I was on a call yesterday with Artinome. I don't know how to pronounce their name. It's who I have my licensing portfolio platform on.
Oh.
And they were doing a call to understand stuff. And that's one of the questions that people were asking were, why don't I see anybody have watermarks on their portfolio sites? And they also suggested not doing that. So the manufacturers can see, as well as agents can really see what you're creating, but just upload lower resolution imagery. So,
that almost like goes against my nature because I want like it to look good.
Right. I know.
And anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, if someone's gonna steal your artwork, they're gonna find a
steal it,
way.
Yeah.
But gosh, I mean, like this person you were saying, like all three of them have like mega following.
Yes. Big followings. And I don't know if that's how this company is like finding these people. So bigger your following, they're going to these big artists and just swiping their work, doing screenshots or what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, bottom line is you just got to do what you're comfortable with. And if you want to watermark across the whole thing, watermark across the whole thing. But I chose to go more for people to be able to see my work and just try to defend it. Because like you said, I mean, if somebody wants it, they're going to get it.
Yeah. I don't know. Either that or have a really big signature.
Yeah, exactly.
There was someone that I just saw. It was on the Google TV, and they scrolled through, and there was like an artwork in this museum, and I was like, oh, the artwork was so cool, like right up my alley, and you could see the signature at the bottom. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to look that up. So, I'm like, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I know like Kat Cocolette, she has a pretty big signature that she uses on all her artwork, and she makes sure that her brand is on everything as well. I mean, you just got to set a standard and stick to your guns with it.
My signature is small.
Yeah, sometimes I even forget to do it, and then I'll bring it in Photoshop and add it.
Yeah,
I've done that too.
Yeah, I just add it in Photoshop is what I do. It's just easier. I just signed it on paper and scanned it in, and I just have a file that I pull in every time.
Okay, let's tell everybody how to do that again, because someone just went, wait, we could do that in Photoshop? And then,
and I do it in Illustrator, InDesign, Canva, whatever program I'm working on. So I just sign your name several different times, several different ways on a piece of paper, preferably with a black marker, not like I think it's called a fine point Sharpie. Yeah. Like that point. You don't want a big fat Sharpie, but there's
micron pen works well.
Right. As long as it's a 5 or above on a micron or something, just so that you get some thickness to it. And you will scan that in at a high resolution, at least 300 DPI, because it's not going to need to be bigger than that. And then you bring it into Photoshop and you remove your background. And when you remove your background, which is relatively an easy process, make sure that you go to Select, Modify, and Expand. I think it's Select, Modify, Expand. And also Select, Modify, and Feather. And make sure you put a little bit of Expand and a little bit of Feather. And I can't tell you how much, but somewhere between 1 and 5 typically. Just depends on what your signature looks like and what you scan in. And then remove that background. And I always make it a mask. And I think it's Alt Mask will automatically invert it, or it's Control Mask. I can't remember. It's so second nature for me. I have such a hard time now.
Invert the mask.
But invert the mask so that you just see the signature and the background's transparent. Clean up any last details and then save it as a high-res PNG. So to do that, you've got to export out of Photoshop, export as, and I cannot believe I'm doing this by memory, you guys. So there may be a mistake, but export as, and then when you go to select the PNG, file type, pick PNG, but pick 2 times or 3 times so that it's not at a super low resolution.
Right.
And then that way it'll be a little bit bigger. And then when you scale it, it'll look, well, I mean, obviously you're not going to scale it 5 by 6, but.
I have my signature in stamp.
Scamp? What's scamp?
Stamp.
Oh, stamp.
As a stamp in Photoshop.
Oh, you can make it into a brush, which then.
Or brush.
Yeah,
or
it's
stamp.
a brush. Brushes act like stamps too.
Right. So you just go click.
Yeah. I forgot. I've done that before too. But now I just drag and drop it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I have one in white and one in black, and I know I could just invert it, but for whatever reason, I did one in both.
Okay, so I've decided that you need to give Skillshare classes on these simple. I'm putting in air quotes on
Yeah.
that, guys. Simple little things you can do.
Yeah.
After about the third step, all I heard was wah, wah, wah,
I know, because I'm going by memory too, and I'm sure we're listening, not
No,
looking
but
at a
that's-
video, but yeah.
That's really good. And you can find videos on how to do
yeah.
it, but you're like, come back and write down what she just said, because
Yeah.
that's a good step. That's what I did.
And,
I'm
you,
not doing the
and
show
people
notes.
can always reach out.
Huh?
know?
I'm not doing the show notes.
You can always reach out at my email and ask me a question, or on Instagram, DM me or something. Yeah.
Or you can reach out to hello
at artistsoar.com.
Oh, yeah.
And we can
and just put Julie, help.
right. I'm happy to help people out. So not a problem.
Yeah, but you should be doing, well, I need you to do InDesign.
Oh, yeah.
That's where
I've been living this week.
That's where
Design.
I have Photoshop.
Or do you
I
mean
had-
Illustrator?
Well, both.
I love
I like
InDesign.
What are you doing in those? Just curious.
I mean, just moving things around, and like there's a couple of things that I just will end up doing in Canva because it's so much easier. And I'm like, I'll
Canva,
find
it's
a
a
theme. I'll
background
find a
music.
little theme. I'm like, close enough, you know.
Yeah.
But like things I'd like to do for Bubbly Bibbly, or like if I wanted to do like a new logo for Rachel
Oh, wow.
Bell Art, or
Right.
you know, like
Yeah.
just little things. And like I do a lot of like stuff for my church, and
Yeah.
so
You do a lot.
Mhm.
but Photoshop doesn't always work for me.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
mean, like
Illustrator and InDesign is just, and I'll call Julie and go, hey, could you? And she's like, yeah, give me a day. You know,
I know. Well,
because
that's
it takes her like 30 seconds, almost literally 30 seconds. We'll be on a team call, and she'd be like, oh yeah, so you want to do this and this and this and do this, and
Mhm.
you know.
Well, it's so funny. I've been doing a lot of that because our son is in college and for architecture, and that boy lives in InDesign and Illustrator,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, holy crap! So it's kind of fun. Yesterday, I because he also lives in 3D world, and he couldn't. I could not get this 3D model to go into elevation for me for nothing. I was trying. I could not get AutoCAD to do what I needed it to do. And so I just texted him I called him. I'm like, you in front of your computer? Can I send you this so you can flip it over for me?
So JP
Nice.
is you for me.
Yeah.
I know. In fact,
And the
he's coming home.
cycle goes on.
I know. And he's coming home this summer. I'm like, will you teach me how to do 3D and SketchUp, please?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I know, because if I showed you this model that he's just built for this project, I'm like,
See, I was
holy
thinking
crap.
I want him to do for Bubbly Bibbly what we talked about, kind of redoing
Oh.
stuff, and I was thinking maybe JP could do it for me, and I
Yeah.
just buy him a pizza.
Buy him a pizza.
I know.
Or a
So.
couple of pizzas. Or
Just give him a card. Load it
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
I was like, here's a Visa gift card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because it literally took, I had the email back within 2 minutes
Oh
I'm
my
not kidding
gosh.
you.
I know.
because he had Rhino and I didn't have a 3D thing to open, and well, my computer went open Revit if I wanted it to right now. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. That's
So
kinda funny.
I hope we've given you guys some ideas of how to protect your photos, your images, your websites.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
make it look good, but kind of think in the back of your head, you know, I don't want people to really take anything from me, because you guys have worked hard on your artwork. And,
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
You know, so
Okay.
anyway, until next time.
Hello and welcome to Artists Soar. This is a podcast for artists by 3 artists. We discuss all aspects of being artists, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The goal of each podcast is to provide solutions so artists can focus on their creativity and soar above. I'm Rachel Harshenko.
Jules McCullough.
Stephanie Weaver.